Good evening. Today we honor one of cinema's greatest visionaries, David Lynch, who passed away today at the age of 79. David Lynch wasn't just a filmmaker, he was a storyteller who invited us into strange, beautiful, and unsettling worlds. Lynch's work, films like Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, and the groundbreaking series Twin Peaks teach us valuable lessons about the craft of filmmaking, especially for those who work outside the Hollywood system. Today I want to explore 5 techniques that Lynch used masterfully and show how you can incorporate them into your own work. First, let's talk about David Lynch's quite famous embrace of surrealism and dream logic. Lynch masterfully blended the mundane with the macabre, creating dreamlike sequences that challenge audiences' perceptions of reality. By embracing surrealism, Lynch crafted narratives that resonate at a deeper subconscious level. Eraserhead, which operated on that dream logic with a disjointed and haunting industrial setting, immersing viewers in a nightmarish experience. Mulholland Drive, the Club Silencio scene blurs the lines between reality and illusion, reflecting the characters' psychological states. And of course, Twin Peaks, the Red Room sequences presenting cryptic dialogues and uncanny visuals, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that challenged the viewer's perceptions. The takeaway here is that you don't need a big budget to create surrealism. Using lighting, sound, and unconventional camera techniques, David Lynch built an atmosphere that felt like a dream, or sometimes even a nightmare. Some of the signature marks of a David Lynch film were some of the really amazing sound design that he employed in telling his stories. Lynch once said films are 50% visual and 50% sound. Sometimes sound even overpowers the visuals. He used sound to evoke emotions and build tension, making it an integral part of his storytelling. Think of Blue Velvet and the use of Roy Orbison's In Dreams juxtaposed with disturbing imagery, creating an unsettling contrast, enhancing the film's eerie atmosphere. Or The Elephant Man, the industrial sounds of Victorian London immersed in the audience in the protagonist's harsh environment, amplifying the emotional impact. And of course, Lost Highway, the eerie dissonant tones in the soundtrack amplifying the film's sense of paranoia and dread. As an independent filmmaker, the takeaway is to experiment with sound. You don't need expensive tools, just think creatively. Record ambient noises, distort familiar sounds, or use silence strategically to create tension. This is probably one of the best techniques an independent filmmaker can utilize to evoke emotion, to disturb, to delight, and ultimately to inspire. David Lynch's characters were always quite multidimensional. His characters often led double lives, reflecting the duality of human nature. This complexity adds depth and intrigue to the narrative. For example, in Blue Velvet, Jeffrey Beaumont appears as the innocent boy next door, but his curiosity leads into a very dark world, revealing his own hidden desires. Twin Peaks, Laura Palmer is portrayed as the perfect homecoming queen, yet her secret life is filled with turmoil and illicit activities, showcasing the contrast between appearance and reality. And Wild at Heart, Sailor and Lula's passionate romance is intertwined with violence and chaos, highlighting the complexity of their characters. What this taught us as independent filmmakers is that our characters can't be flat archetypes. We need them to have secrets, contradictions, flaws. The magic happens in the tension between who they appear to be and who they really are. Of course, visual symbolism was such a primary technique of David Lynch's films. Lynch was a master at using visual motifs and symbols to create layers of meaning. These images stuck with you, even if you couldn't immediately explain why. In Blue Velvet, the severed ear found in the field acts as a gateway into the town's hidden darkness, symbolizing the idea that beneath the surface of suburban tranquility lies corruption. In Mulholland Drive, the blue box and key are mysterious objects that symbolize the blurred lines between dreams and reality. In Twin Peaks, the red curtains in the Black Lodge symbolize the boundary between the conscious and the subconscious, reality and dreams. Think about what visuals can represent to your film's themes. A recurring prop, location, or a color palette can subtly tie your story together without a single line of dialogue. Lastly, and I'm sure that there will be many examinations of David Lynch over the next few months and years, the ultimate lesson from David Lynch's films was to trust your intuition. Lynch often spoke about the importance of intuition in the creative process, allowing ideas to flow naturally and then revising them later. He believed in letting the creative process guide him, even when it didn't make logical sense at first, and sometimes even when it didn't make logical sense later. In Inland Empire, David wrote the script day by day, allowing the story to evolve organically, resulting in one of his most abstract and challenging films. In Eraserhead, the film took years to complete because Lynch followed his instincts at every step, perfecting every detail on his own timeline. Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, which was actually my first introduction into David Lynch's work. Lynch's decision to focus on Laura Palmer's final days, that rather than the murder mystery, upset some fans but deepened the emotional resonance of the series. So don't second guess every decision, let your instincts guide you. Ultimately, the movie is made on your terms as a director and as a producer, especially in those early stages. Experiment, dig into your mind, look for hidden symbolism. Movies are not just images on a screen. They are sound, they are editing, they are characters, they are production design elements. All of these represent the visual and artistic tapestry upon which your film is going to live. Be fearless, be bold, be ambitious, and ultimately, trust your gut. David Lynch's work reminds us that filmmaking isn't just about following the rules. In fact, great filmmaking often broke the rules. As independent filmmakers, we have all the freedom to experiment, to take risks, and to tell stories that only we can tell. So as we honor Lynch's legacy, let's take his techniques and use them to push our own creativity further. Whether it's through sound, symbolism, or simply trusting our gut, Lynch showed us that great filmmaking comes from a place of authenticity and fearlessness. Rest in peace, David Lynch. You were definitely one of the great ones.